Okay, we have an Xbox Series S. Purchased it on eBay. Broken, no power on this one. I purchased another two. Actually, it was two Xbox Series S's from the same seller at the same time. The first one got it all. It powered on, got it all torn apart, and it did not have the SSD. I'm gonna have to reach out to the seller and see what we can work out on that. So let's get this one opened up. I did verify it does not. This one does not turn on. So this one's definitely been open as well. Well, we saw that the stickers on the back were missing, but it's also missing the clip here. The last one was also missing that clip. So this doesn't fill me with a lot of hope that that we'll be able to fix this one either. I'm gonna test the power supply real quick. Power supply is good. I don't know what that is, but it just fell out. And okay, is this thing down here? No clue what that does. And the pads are ripped off too. So that's fun. This one has the solid state drive, so that's a plus. We got some liquid right there, just a drop though. Usually on these, when I see liquid damage, I'll show you where it usually shows up. It's usually right in this area here, like right around here. Go ahead and put this thermal putty back. There it goes. We'll just check the main rails real quick and see if we have any shorts. Put it in diode mode. Okay, So we have a short on the 12-volt rail. So we have a short on the 12-volt rail. In my experience, it's usually something right in here. Usually one of these MOSFETs or one of these capacitors. We'll move over to the microscope and see. Okay, so this is our 12-volt rail here. Usually we see shorts on these MOSFETs or these caps here. Most likely we'll need to do some voltage injection to pinpoint what it is, because everything seems to look okay. I checked to make sure that the 12-volt rail is not shorted to the other rails, your 5-volt, 3.3, or 1.8, which are kind of in this area over here, and also, of course, not shorted to the CPU or APU. If that was the case, then if you injected 12 volts and you have a short to the 5-volt rail or the 3.3-volt rail, then you're going to be sending 12 volts to those rails. So it's probably better to start with lower voltage, which just for demonstration we will. So I'll drop it down to, we'll do it the way you're supposed to do it. How about that? We're going to start with 0.9 volts. Start with 0.9 volts, 3 amps. I have my ground clip here. We have the thermal camera here. It's the Infrared P2 Pro or something like that. So I'm just going to inject here. I just want to see if I'm drawing any current. Okay, so it drops down to 0.4 volts at 3 amps. Here, this cap is taking all of the current. Okay, since this is the capacitor in question here, this is the one that was showing the heat, the big one. We're going to remove it, check again, see if we still have a short on the 12-volt rail. I'm going to remove this capacitor as well, because this type of capacitor with the heat can definitely pop, and I don't want it to pop. And then we also have this plastic connector right here, which is very close. I should be okay as long as I'm bringing my heat in this way. So from up here coming down this direction, once this capacitor is gone, we should be okay. Just gonna prep these pads here. Okay, so we got it off. We're gonna check real quick for the short, see if it's gone. Our 12-volt short is gone. So I'm gonna grab one of these off of a donor board. In fact, we can just check this real quick and you can see that this is indeed short. Right? Okay. I'm gonna grab one off of a donor board. We're gonna mix a little bit of leaded solder on there, some flux. Okay, I heard a little crackle. Um, let's go all the way with this thing, yeah? HDMI port feels solid. I did hook up my game capture card, so let's see if we can capture this. To the console's video. Okay, I'm back to do the reassembly of this one. I was just going to reassemble it and show the final product, but we'll go ahead and do a reassembly. I finally figured out what this thing is. I'm sure that everyone else already knew what it is, but it's a screw holder. So it goes through the board this way. Screw comes in from the bottom side like this. There's two screws right next to it, so I don't think it's a big deal. And the pads are ripped off anyway, so it's not really going to hold anything. I'm not going to super glue it on or silicone it on or anything like that. I think that's kind of ridiculous. So we're just going to go ahead and reassemble without it. We'll check and make sure that everything is still tight though. If for some reason one of these components isn't tight, then we'll address that issue. So we'll get to the reassembly here. All of these always have too much thermal paste applied from, you know, from the factory. I'm not one to sit there and try to scrape all this stuff out and potentially damage one of these components around here. I just don't put as much thermal paste on there. My background is in PC building, so I know that you don't have to squirt a line across this thing. It really doesn't need very much thermal paste to spread that little bit. So we're not going to be caking up a whole bunch more. I feel like the risk to damaging a component by scraping all this stuff off, because it's really hard, is not worth the reward of it being clean. So some people would disagree and say that no, you need to take it all off, but everyone has their own opinion. I will grab a thermal pad to put here. It did not have, it had been removed. It's for the uh, expansion slot right there. It usually has some that green thermal putty or pink thermal putty on there. I don't have any thermal putty. I have some, but I got some thermal pads too, so we're just gonna use that. Let's see. This was missing this clip right here that goes like this. So we'll go ahead and grab one. That'll also help hold this down. This is where that screw is right here. So you can see that this screw holder here went right here. This will help hold that area down. And you also have a couple of screws, you know, here and here. So I don't see why that doesn't hurt for it to be there. I don't think it's going to be a problem that it's not there. So one of these screws is not going to have, I believe it's going to be this guy here, is not going to have anything to screw into. And as you see, this one just drops in. So that one will be for the spare parts bin. Finish. Yeah. Okay. we are going to power this on, test it. I'm going to clean all this up. This should clean up just fine. To be honest with you, this looks like thermal paste. I don't know why, but that's what it looks like to me, but I could be wrong. And there we go. We'll connect a controller to it. And there we go. So I'm going to go ahead and test everything, clean it all up real good, and this one will be ready to sell. Thanks for watching. Please leave a comment down below. If you have any questions, like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.